Hey guys, my name is Jingles, and welcome back to another Minecraft skin clothing tutorial. Today we've got a bit of a random lineup. We are going to be going through overalls, fishnets, and sweaters. I do hope you enjoy, and if this video helps you out, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all that. And as always, my commissions are open. Just check out my card, which will be linked in the description for all of my links. Enjoy! Be starting out today with overalls, which the thing that I like most about these are that they are so customizable. You can make them like literally 5 billion different ways and they will all look nothing alike to each other, which is so convenient because you can make so many different styles with them. So as usual, if you watch any of my other tutorials, you're going to know that we are going to need 4 colors for whatever color you want your overalls to be. They can be blue, they can be purple, they can be green. Just pick 4 colors, whatever you want, and once you're done with those 4 colors, or should I say 4 shades of the same color. You don't want like red, orange, yellow, green. You want like, if you're picking pink, you want to stay in the pinks, just like lighter to darker. When you have your 4 shades, check back in here. Alright, I went with the classic blue up here. And to start, we're actually just going to need to look at the torso, like the mid area for now, so you can ignore everything else in your editor. And we are going to get started with our first step, which is the outline. And like I said, there are so many different styles, so this is going to be pretty customizable how you want it, but I'm going to explain the general idea. So the general idea is that you're going to want to go all the way across, starting from the bottom, maybe like that much. You can do it a little bit less, you can do it a little bit more. Again, it all depends on how tall, on how tall you want like the waist to come up to. And then after this first section, you're going to create a second smaller section on top of it by starting from each of like these sides here, but not including this last pixel on either side. And going up, you can make it that tall, or you can make it that tall. Really, it's whatever you want. And then you're also going to add some straps up here like that. So you see these are like pretty tall overalls up here. You could definitely make it shorter like that. You could also shorten that up. You can really do whatever you want with that step right here. I think that this looks good to me. I'm going to keep it just like that. Then we're going to move on to the legs. And again, you can make this however long you want. And the other thing you can do is make each of the lengths on the legs uneven or even. And what I mean by that is that you can make them shorty overalls like this. You can make them long overalls like this. And you can make one of the pants shorter than the other like that or like that. It is really totally up to you. I'm actually going to go with a short style for this video, but everything that I'm going to be talking about is absolutely applicable to the longer style, so just follow that. Alright, so now that we have our outline going on, not that complicated, we are going to move on to the shading. And as you notice, this outline is with your lightest color, which I forgot to mention, you should do that. And now we're going to take, starting with our darkest color, and we're just going to worry about this top section up here for now. And you can see there's sort of like this little smaller square area right here. We're going to start by just making 4 pixels like this to outline this rectangle area right here. Next, you can take your next lightest color and just outline everything that's already here. Then you can take your next lightest color and fill that in just like that. And then we're going to move on to the straps, which you can take your second darkest color, and at the bottom of each strap, place 1 pixel. At the top of each strap, place 1 pixel. Then you're going to take your second lightest color and fill in both of the remaining pixels right here. Or again, if your straps are longer than mine, just follow the general idea that in the middle it's lighter. One cool thing you can do is you can add little buttons if you want. You don't have to, totally optional. So add them like right there if you want. You can put them on the outer layer as well. Totally optional, you don't have to do that. But moving on to this bottom section down here, we're going to again take our darkest color and we're just going to make a little T starting from the bottom. You're going to go up here to about this height. This is somewhat flexible. This is just like the shading of like what your thighs create right here. But just in the middle, make a T like this. It'll be approximately the same place even if your pants are longer. And we're actually going to make 1 shade darker here to put in the center of that T, just like that. Then we're gonna take your next lightest color. I'm just gonna start outlining this T essentially. So you can start with 2 pixels right here, just on top. Then we're gonna go 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and then all the way down and out. All the way down and out. Again, totally applicable to any length. You just keep going down farther with these steps. This right here is gonna be the same, but like over here is just gonna be longer if your pants are longer, which is totally fine. Then we are going to take our next lightest color, and before we do any highlights, we're actually just going to fill in everything here so it's a little bit more easier to see. And then with our lightest color, which again, I think that this actually looks a little bit too light. I think I'm going to adjust it a little bit, which I absolutely encourage you to do all the time. Adjust your colors as you see fit throughout the process. And we're just gonna add 2 little highlights like in this little nest right here, which the T creates. And also let's go with 2 dots right there. And that is pretty much it. Although I will say, depending on how you customize the length of everything, you might, if this like top section right here is longer, maybe if it was like 1 longer like that or something, you could do little highlights right in here. Or like even if it's short like this, you could do little highlights right in there just like that. It's really whatever you like, whatever looks the best for you. Sometimes I also put 2 little pixels like that right there with your second darkest colors. It really just depends on the look that you like. Again, this is a very like a flowy design here, which I really like about overalls. Next, we're going to be moving on to the outer layer. One last thing, which is applicable no matter the length of your overalls, is little frills at the bottom of the shorts right here. I usually take like a white color. And you can absolutely add like an outline like that. You could delete this part right here and make it look like that. Again, it is all up to your discretion. And you could also make them like fatter like this. You can make them too tall. Totally up to you guys. And if you did do this part right here, I suggest having 3 colors and having a shading that looks somewhat like this, just like a sort of L shape. Again, totally up to you. Moving on to the outer layer, if you watched any of my other tutorials, you know that we aren't actually adding anything new. We are just building off of what is already on the inner layer. So you're going to take your color picker right here. We'll start with the straps. And just these lighter shades right here, we're going to add those 2 pixels onto the outer layer. Moving down to our highlights, like this very light color right here, we're going to do those. And also the slightly darker pixels on either side of it. So you're just going to get 2 3x1 lines like that. And down here, we're going to do the same thing with these highlights and these pixels next to it, just like that. And if you did add these like little frills, you can also highlight the lightest color like that. But again, if you don't have them, just ignore that. And that is it. Like, these are really simple. If you did do longer pants, then you'd probably want to add some more outer layer, like as you go down, something like that on each side, but it's really up to your customization. And one last cute little tip that I have for you guys is if you want to have your straps not like both go up, you could do something like this. I think that that's really cute. Oopsies. You can have them go off to the side like that. Sometimes I do that. Super cute. You don't have to do that. Again, up to you. So now that we have our front done, we are going to move on to our insides. So my general rule for literally every single piece of clothing I make is whatever is on the front, you just like take and wrap around the sides. It's my little thing, the wraparound theory, whatever you want to call it. So you're going to take whatever pixel color is like right near the side and just like bring it all the way through the waist like that. All the way. I don't even bother with highlights on the inside. Nobody cares about that. Same thing with the outer layer. You want to wrap that all the way around too. Wrap that all the way. And this side is exactly the same as this side. I'm not even going to do it for you. Up here, make sure you get those straps all the way through the shoulders like that. Make sure you check your legs. Depending on how long you made it, you might not even have anything. Like right here, I don't have anything there. But if your pants are longer, absolutely wrap around whatever is there towards the inside. Over here, same thing, wrap around, wrapping everything around. And for those of you that have watched my tutorials before, you can just skip ahead because you already know about the cloning method. But if you're doing this on Skin Decks, you're going to want to download your skin and bring it over to Planet Minecraft. If you are already on Planet Minecraft or another editor that has a cloning feature, good for you. I'll see you in a second. Alright, here we are in Planet Minecraft, and what you're going to want to do is go to this clone mode right here, select that, select the rectangle brush, and then we're going to type in the dimensions of this torso area, which is 8 by 12. You're going to take your brush all the way over here, copy this, turn around to the back, and just paste it exactly where it would go on the back side. We're going to do the same thing, except we're going to check this right here so that we are copying the outer layer. We are going to clone that, turn around, and paste it onto the back side. If your area is longer down here, you're probably also going to need to do the legs. Same process, except the width is 4. Height is still 12. You're going to copy it, bring it around to back, and that'll literally be it. Congratulations. You've made your overalls. One thing is, if you have buttons on the front, you probably don't want those on the back, so just delete it there. But I did the exact same pattern for the back. It's literally the same. Nice job. Alright, so next up is fishnets. If you watch the overall section, take a deep breath. These are way easier. First off, you're going to want to actually have your skin over here. So I'm assuming you already have pants or something. I'm going to draw a skirt. Let's pretend that this is a skirt. Obviously this looks terrible, but we're just going to roll with it. Assuming you have everything done up here, and we're going to be focusing on the legs. For this, you're actually only going to need 3 colors, which is true for both styles. I'm going to be showing 2 different styles, and both need 3. So get your 3 colors. I'll meet you back here. We're going to actually start, there's not even a need for outline, it's just so simple. We're going to start with the darkest color. I'm going to turn on the mirror tool over here so we get both the left and right leg. And however long you want them, you're just going to go all the way down. Let's actually make some model shoes down here. Pretend there's shoes down here, right? That's that. You're going to take your next lightest color for this style. This style is going to be if you want it to be more like sheer, where you have your skin color showing. So you're going to take your next lightest color, and we're just going to do an alternating pattern of having color here and not having color there. Let's actually color this with the same color up there. And then you're going to take your lightest one, and we're just going to continue that pattern. Alright, then you're just going to take your lightest one, and we're just going to continue that pattern of creating this netting. So that's literally it, guys. I mean, you can still do outer layer, but then you'd have your skin color. So let's say that this was our skin color, and you just fill that in normally, so it would be a sheer little tight style kind of thing. Again, I'm gonna have some sample things, skins in the thumbnail, so you can see what I'm talking about. But that is style 1. Style 2, I'm just gonna erase this part right here. And we're actually going to cover everything we just covered with this same color. This is the same color right here. Your second darkest color. Just do everything that we just did. So we're going to have this little pattern. But then in all of these white pixels, we're going to put our lightest. So now we're having a non-sheer pattern over here. So these are if you want full on like that. And the outer layer for both of these are going to be pretty simple, except that these are going to be more hefty if you have this covered version. We're going to start right here, and we're just going to make a 2 by 3 rectangle with the colors that are already on the inner layer. It's going to look like that. We're going to skip a row, and then we're going to do a 1 by 3 rectangle. Then we're going to skip another row and then do another 1 by 3 rectangle. And you get the idea. It's literally just something like that. And the difference is if you had these as skin, you just would not do outer layer there. So you do something like this. Let's just delete these light pixels. So that's what it would look like for you, essentially. Also, you don't have to do outer layer if you don't want to. This is kind of an optional step for these, but I like it. And there you go. There are your fishnets. The mirroring on the back is going to be exactly the same, but I actually don't do the wraparound for these. I do something slightly different. What I do is I take the color that is closest to the edge, and I fold that over right here, and also on the back side like this. but the middle is different. So I'm going to take this, do it in the front and back, front and back, front and back. And then for the middle, we're going to disrupt the pattern. And we're going to do like the opposite of what would actually be there if we were doing it normally. Just like that. Outer layer is going to be the same, you just keep that pattern going around. And again, if you need to know how to mirror or clone to the back, you can take a look at the overalls part of the video. We went over that with Planet Minecraft Editor. And there you go, there are your fishnets. Which is different than like a sweatshirt or something in my book. This is the type of sweater that we're going to be talking about here is like an open sweater. So like you have it on your arms and it goes a little bit onto the torso and the back is obviously complete. Here we go. 4 colors, meet you back here in a second. All right, we're gonna do the outline, but just for sake of ease with the highlights, we're actually gonna outline with our second lightest color. And you can completely cover the arms, just completely cover those guys. And then going on to the torso here, you can either do 1 into it like this, or you can do 2. I'm gonna show 2, but you can follow the exact same thing with just doing 1. And you can end it like that, or you can also come down a little bit onto the legs. You can make it like really far if you want like that, but whatever floats your boat, guys, whatever floats your boat. Then we are going to take our darkest color and get started on the shading. That was an easy outline, am I right? And with the arms, we're just gonna do my usual arm shading. All I need to do is on the very top and bottom, go 2 pixels into it like that. And 1, 2, 3 up into the middle, we're going to add a dot like that. So there's like 1, 2, 3 pixels in between. Then we're going to move on to our next lightest color. And we're going to outline everything to the right of these pixels right here. And completely outline the pixels that are closest to the torso. And outline that pixel right there. If you don't know, the main principle that I follow with my shadings is that a dark color should never be directly next to a color that's a lot lighter than that. So we're essentially like wrapping it with the next lightest color. So you would never want like this color to touch that color really. You like protect it with this darker color right there. For our highlights, we're gonna do our usual, which is on top of this little dip. You're gonna add 2 pixels like that, and then you're gonna wait. And then you're gonna skip a pixel and add them both down here. Again, I think that this is a little bit too light, so I'm just gonna adjust that. Feel free to adjust any colors to suit your liking. All right, that looks much better. And then we're gonna move on to the torso area, and we are essentially going to do the wraparound kind of, except we're not really wrapping around, we're just continuing. So you're gonna take whatever color is on the very edge of the arm and just like continue it onto the torso on both sides. Your mirror tool will not work here, by the way, since it's on the torso. It only works on the legs and the arms. Then you're going to take your next lightest color. You're going to do the same exact thing. Continue it onto the torso. And if you only had it go like 2 in like that, like you just stop, you're done. But if you had it like go in farther like me, then obviously we're going to keep going. And we're going to do what I talked about earlier with like protecting the darker color, so you don't want it to immediately touch light color. So we're just going to add 2 pixels right there that are directly next to this very dark color at the top. Then we're going to do the same thing for the middle and the bottom. And then this is actually fine because this is the color that's immediately lighter than this color right here. Down here, if you added some of these things, like little continuations onto the legs, let's just take your second darkest color and add 2 pixels like that. And that's it. We're going to do some outer layer over here before we move on to the sides and back. And let's just look at the arms for a second. Usually what I do for the arms is moving down here. We're going to take our second darkest color and outline these 2 pixels just like that. Then we're going to take our next lightest color and outline that pixel like that. Then take the neighboring highlight and outline it like that. So you get a little 2x2 cube at the bottom right here. Then we're going to skip a row and take our second lightest color to outline 2 more pixels like that. And then all the way up here, we're going to use the same color to outline it like that. That's it for the arms. And now we're going to focus on this inner part right here. Again, if you only had your sweater looking like this, totally ignore this, don't do anything. But if you do have it coming in more like me, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this color right here and we're gonna outline everything that's already there of this color specifically. So like not this one right here, we're gonna skip that and we're gonna keep going like that. Again, not these right here, we're gonna skip that and keep going with this color. So it should look like that. So you're only outlining the very lighter parts. That's a general rule for what you want to do with the outer layer. That's what I do, and I think it looks pretty good. Then we're going to wrap around like everything else we've been doing with this video. We're going to take the color that's right here, that's the closest to the edge, and we're just going to bring it all the way around onto the other side of the arm. For right here, actually with this like little elbow bend, I like to take this color and just add 2 pixels in the very center and then fill around it with this lighter one, just like that. And for the highlights, we're gonna take the highlights and we're essentially gonna do the same pattern, but like in the center, but like slightly farther back. So notice how this is 4 pixels wide, there's not an exact middle. What I do is I do it slightly farther back towards the back side right here. Then we're gonna wrap around the outer layer just as it would be. Again, you're not doing anything new, you're just taking what is already on the inner layer and you are transferring that to the outer layer. If that was fast for you, I'm so sorry. Feel free to slow down the video, watch that again. Then we're gonna move up here, make sure you wrap around everything on top and over here. Make sure you get this torso too. And don't forget this part. I've actually forgotten this part on a few skins, it's kind of embarrassing. But what I do is I actually don't fill in this whole area here. I leave like a little outline hole because if you think about it, that's how clothing works. Like these are your hands. Like you don't just have it covering everything. You have like your little hand holes right here. So put skin color in there. And if you did continue the sweater down onto the legs, make sure that you wrap this around too. Don't forget that. And it should look like that. Beautiful. At this point in the video, you can clone this side of your arms onto the back. Again, if you don't know how to do that, just go back to the overalls part of the video. That's where I showed it, and also literally in every single one of my other tutorials. I'm not going to do it again, just to save time. But the back torso is actually different. The back legs are actually different than what's over here, so I will be going over that with you right now. Oh yeah, don't forget this part right here too. I almost just forgot that. Make sure you get all of the like inner parts over here on both sides too. Okay, just focusing on the back and the torso. What we're gonna do here is, again, we're just gonna wrap around everything that's already here on both sides. Just going 1 pixel into the torso, wrapping it around on both sides. And then at the very top, what we're going to do is we're going to take our second darkest color and create a 2 pixel tall, just line that goes all the way across. We're going to add 2 pixels here to do the little protection thing, whatever you want to call it. It sounds so weird. And then if you did not include anything on the legs, you can actually just do the same thing that you did on the top as the top to the bottom. But if you did include sweater going down farther to the legs, what you're going to do is you're going to do that same little wrap thing. And then you are going to go 1 pixel down and in and connect it just like that. Next, you're going to take your next lightest color and you're just going to fill in everything that is blank so far in the center here. Then we're going to take our darkest color and starting down here in the bottom, not in the exact center, but just to the right and the left, we're going to add 2 pixels like that. And just go up however far you want. It could be this far, could be a little bit shorter, it could be a little bit taller. I think that that's a pretty good height right now for me, but we don't want this all actually to be dark, so we're gonna maybe go like that. So take your next lightest color and kind of maybe half it, so half of this color, half is that color, so that you just have that transfer. It gets lighter as we're going up. Then we're gonna move on to highlights. And we're going to do 2 pixels right here in the center. It could also be up here if you want. Pretty flexible with that top highlight, just somewhere in this little, this little square right here. Get something going on with a highlight. And then down here, if you did not go onto the legs, ignore this part and just add a highlight like that. But if you did go onto the legs, what we're going to do is we're going to add some on each of these 3 sections. So maybe 2 right here, 2 right here. And then in the middle, slightly to the right or to the left, you can pick whichever side you want. And we're going to add a 3rd highlight just like that. If you did not go onto the legs, ignore this next part. You are all set. Congratulations. Just obviously make sure you have your arms over here. You did great. But if you did go onto the legs, we're gonna do a little bit more outer layer over here, just in this like little flowy part down here. So we're gonna start with our highlights, and you're just gonna outline everything that you highlighted with your lightest color and bring that onto the outer layer. Then you can take your next darkest color and immediately on top and on bottom of those two side highlights, you can add 2 pixels like that. And wrapping around these middle highlights, you can add more pixels just like that. And I forgot up here, I think that it's best if you just imagining this is the neck right here, I'd probably wrap this around right here so it looks more natural. Optional, you could also right here on the legs, wrap that around like that. I don't really think you have to do that, but just make sure that everything kind of looks natural for you. Make sure you have outlined the inner layer of everything over here. Again, I've already showed this in the video. I'm not gonna do every single part. I think that these are the main parts that you will be needing to make yourself a sweater, and I hope that this helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope that genuinely helped you out. Again, if you learned something, please feel free to comment, subscribe, and also check out all of my socials and commissions down with my card link below. And join my Discord server. We've got almost 150 members, where you can interact with like-minded Minecraft creators, skinners, builders, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, anything like that. Request commissions, and anything else Minecraft related. Ciao!